There's an old saying that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And I'd like to say that that is false advertising, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's not entirely. It does start with one step, and we see that all the time, but there's still 1,000 miles to go. So tonight we're going to talk about what happens after you get sober, or more importantly, after I got sober. Steps 999,999. Those are the ones we're going to focus on tonight. So I thought I'd give you a sense of who that person is. Slide, please. This. The thing you can't tell, but later if you want to come up afterwards, you can look. One pupil is really big, and one pupil is really small, which I'm pretty sure is a sign of a stroke. And I'm like, just make me stop. All I want is to stop. I will never ask for anything else again. Anybody say anything like this before? I just want to stop. I'll never ask for another thing ever. Flash forward. A nanosecond after I stopped, I said, okay, that's great. Now I want to be happy. Thanks for doing that. But anyway, I want to be happy. And I had a definition of happiness, that an addict's definition of happiness, which is absence of pain, total bliss for the rest of my life. Anything below that, I'm unhappy. I basically have to be having an orgasm from that moment on until I die. Anybody who's done opiates, you know what I want that until I die. I get in conversations with them where I'd really need to establish boundaries around our friendship. I need to let you know my feelings so you will know how to treat me in the future. And he said something that really just hit me hard. He said, you know, I never fully suffered from addiction until after I stopped using. Never fully suffered until after I stopped using, which, that just cut right to me. I was so miserable. And it's so good to be with you guys tonight. I love being with the alcoholics. Now listen up. If you haven't done something crazy, you feel like, okay, I'm getting sober too young, I haven't done all that kind of shit, it's not too late. Because you can do sober stuff that's just as crazy. And I'm going to give you an example. Everybody look at somebody in this room that you don't know. Has to be a stranger. It's hard to do. Okay, that's the person you're having sex with later. Yeah. Let's get it on tonight, everybody. Newly sober people will also often come to me and say, John, yeah, that's all great, but I have to love me before I can love somebody else. And whenever they say that, I'm like, let's go on a sober walk, the two of us. And I'll say, you've been loving you for a long time. Long time. Give it a shot. Well, let's see what'll happen. I'll take full responsibility. Just love somebody else and we'll see if the universe folds in on itself. But because I think normies are like people who aren't drug addicts or alcoholics, I think they think that the reason we did that bad stuff is because we were drunk or high. And now that that's removed, that was the problem. But when you're apologizing for stuff that you did after you stopped drinking, it's a totally different thing. There's no excuse. You're just a dick. So I'm miserable. I go to my friend and I say, I'm miserable. I thought it was supposed to get better when you stopped drinking. He goes, who told you that? And I'm like, what, it gets worse? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, what's the point? Why are we doing it then? He's like, the alcohol is just the medicine. It's just treating the real problem. And I'm like, what's the real problem? He goes, you're an asshole. You're a selfish, self-obsessed asshole. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel sorry for myself. And he goes, that's self-obsession. And he's like, the only way to treat self-obsession is to be other-obsessed. We were wasted out of our minds, but we could run. We had the sugar and the carbohydrates. You know how when you get wasted, you be like, let's go! We were like that, but we had spears. And so we would go after the woolly mammoth and we'd take it down. It's crazy. Nobody should kill a woolly mammoth. The alcoholics would. We'd cut it down and take the pieces and run from the saber-toothed tigers after. Yes, we did it. They used to give opium to babies to keep them occupied, called children's cordials. And so the next time you criticize your friends for putting an iPad in front of their kid, just think about the fact that your great-great-grandmother probably gave your great-great-grandfather opium, and you guys turned out okay, right? Right? Became open to the idea of being open to the idea of some spiritual thing out there. And once I did that, it cracked. Once I did that, I met this smoking hot Jewish girl who is now my wife. But it wasn't that I wanted to be a Jew. I just wanted to know enough about it so that when we got, I didn't want to be this guy. Shabbat shalom, everybody. How's it going? What are the 2 candles for? I brought some shrimp and pork. And I was with my family, I'm driving, we were all low blood sugar, we had mishandled everything. Everybody, it's a full family meltdown. Everybody. My wife is totally checked out, she's just inside somewhere in there. My son and daughter are dicks, just assholes. They just hate me. And they're just driving me crazy, and this is what I did. You're my kids. And my son, who's 9, his name is Hudson. So this is what I did. I went, fuck you, Hudson! Fuck you! And I meant it. I wanted, And I immediately just went to, oh my God, what have I become? What? I'm the worst father ever. And so we finally find food, and we're all sitting there eating in silence. And I'm just like, oh my God, my disease, my whatever, my insanity, my father, all of it is just in my head. And I'm just like, and then we're all silent, we're eating, and all of a sudden my son goes, hey, hey everybody, should we just hit the reset button? And I was just like, my son said that, my 9-year-old. And my daughter takes out a water bottle and she puts it in the middle and we all touch the top of the water bottle and hit the reset button. Now that was amazing. And I would have never had that sublime moment without the other. And so, you know, yes, we're on this road forever, but I don't think I'd have it any other way. I don't know how it will end, but I will say this. I am glad I'm on the path with all of you. So good night. Thanks for coming.